Here's what's ironic, and I wrestle with God in this. It's kind of like, here we are, just an exciting time in India, and then I'm looking at 1 Peter, our next verses, and it's kind of like, it's about work. It's kind of like, how does that fit in with what just happened? I mean, everybody comes back excited, and now we're going to talk about how excited it is to go to work tomorrow. It's kind of like an oxymoron. But I trust God. I trust that God has somebody that He wants to talk to this morning. So I'm not going to talk about it. Because I think there's more to life than just work. But we have to work. Most of you got to get up tomorrow and go to work. And most of you work for somebody else. So we have to learn how to make the most of it. Now, I'm going to do something this morning that you're probably going to go, oh my gosh, how does this fit in? I talked about this before, but I want to go a different direction. Remember when I shared about, instead of saying TGIF, we say TGIM? So it's like, thank God it's Friday. That we can get to the point where we say, thank God it's Monday. I mean, wouldn't that be great if you woke up this morning excited about going to work? How could that possibly happen? No. This guy, I'm sure is not a Christian, so you're probably like, what the heck are you using him for? But he has some powerful words, and I want to kind of take what he says and twist it a little bit. It's Ashton Kutcher. Okay? He was the one that was married to Debbie Moore. So you probably said, what the heck would he have to say? Well, he did a message at the Teen Choice Awards. So there's a bunch of teenagers there, a bunch of teenage girls, so you're going to hear some screaming in the background. But listen to what he has to say, because I want to talk about it. Okay? Let's watch the video.
I feel like a fraud. My name is actually not even Ashton. Ashton is my middle name. My first name's Chris. And it always has been. It got changed when I was like 19 and I became an actor. But there were some really amazing things that I learned when I was Chris. And I wanted to share those things with you guys because I think it's helped me be here today. So it's really three things. The first thing is about opportunity. The second thing is about being sexy. And the third thing is about living life. So first, opportunity. I believe that opportunity looks a lot like hard work. When I was 13, I had my first job with my dad carrying shingles up to the roof. And then I got a job washing dishes at a restaurant. And then I got a job in a grocery store deli. And then I got a job in a factory sweeping Cheerio dust off the ground. And I've never had a job in my life that I was better than. I was always just lucky to have a job. And every job I had was a stepping stone to my next job. And I never quit my job until I had my next job. And so opportunities look a lot like work. Number two, being sexy. The sexiest thing in the entire world is being really smart. And being thoughtful. And being generous. Everything else is crap, I promise you. It's just crap that people try to sell to you to make you feel like less. So don't buy it. Be smart, be thoughtful, and be generous. The third thing is something that I just relearned when I was making this movie about Steve Jobs. And Steve Jobs said, when you grow up, you tend to get told that the world is the way that it is. And that your life is to live your life inside the world and try not to get in too much trouble and maybe get an education and get a job and make some money and have a family. But life can be a lot broader than that when you realize one simple thing. And that is that everything around us that we call life was made up by people that are no smarter than you. And you can build your own things. You can build your own life that other people can live in. So build a life. Don't live one, build one. Find your opportunities and always be sexy. I love you.
That's Ashton Kutcher. I have no idea what kind of faith he has. But there was some logic in some of that stuff that he talked about. So I want to talk to you a little bit about this morning, okay? We're going to go to work. And I've learned one thing about this. Most of us work for other people. In all my years of life now, and if I've gained any wisdom in these years, I've learned a few things. I've learned this. If you don't like your job, there's a real good chance, most likely, it's because you don't like to work. If you like your job, it's most likely because you like to work. It's not about whether you like your job. It's about whether you like to work. A lot of people just don't like to work. And what happens, what Ashton said is true. Work is opportunities. It's opportunities. You don't, we say, well, I've never been given an opportunity. I've never been given an opportunity to be successful like Dave and Claudia are. How do you think Dave and Claudia got to where they are? Let me just ask you a question, Dave. On average, how many hours a week do you think you work? 80? Most of you are going to get up tomorrow and go to work, oh my God, 40 hours this week. Oh, how am I going to do this? 80 hours. He takes advantage of the opportunities that are put in front of him. Why? Because Dave likes to work. That's why he's successful. That's why people become successful. Now, I don't just mean successful now monetarily. It's way more than that. It's way more than that. Think of this. If you are at work and you're sitting there and it's 3 o'clock and you've got to work 2 o'clock and you've got to work till 5 o'clock and you look at your clock and go, oh my God, 3 more hours. Oh! You look at the clock. Only 5 minutes passed? 80 hours. How does he do 80 hours? Doesn't he ever look at his watch? How does that happen? How does that happen? Because I know people can look at me and say, oh, you're lucky. You're lucky you got this money. And you, God love you, you help people out in the church, but boy, you ever lucky. It wasn't luck, people. I didn't inherit any of it. I didn't inherit any of it. What I did is I worked hard at every opportunity. Let me give you an example. I was a builder. Built houses. Bought houses, built them and sold them. But it was like not fulfilling. And I just liked being around church. So the church that I was at, I asked if I could be their janitor. So they hired me for about 4 times less than what I was making. And as a janitor there for 4 years. And I was vacuuming floors. And I was cleaning tables where the kids had glue on. And I'm cleaning the poop off toilets. And I'm doing all of that stuff. And just like Ashton said, I was never better than the job that I was doing. I worked hard at what I did. Did I like what I was doing? Duh. I could build the church. Here I am sweeping the church and vacuuming the church. But I worked hard at it. And I took advantage of every opportunity. And then I would watch the people that are doing ministry as I'm vacuuming the floors. And I'm saying to Jesus, Jesus, I can do that. I know how to do that, Jesus. And Jesus would just say, shut up and keep vacuuming the floor. So I keep vacuuming the floor, but I never lost sight of the fact that I could do ministry. But I stayed faithful, and I worked hard, and then God opened up those doors. Was there money involved in it? I went through my whole life savings. I was broke when I finished ministry. I didn't even know what a savings account was. When they talked about CDs and savings accounts, it was like when they talked about the interest on it in the bank, I didn't give a crap what the interest was. I didn't have any money in the bank. I went through it all, but I took advantage of every opportunity. Now, I want to share something more with you on this, okay? I want to share way more on this now. The second part there where Ashton talked about was, being sexy. What I talk about more is about we like to be accepted in the world. We like to be, it's kind of like when you guys went to India, you would walk into a room and everybody looked at you. You were a celebrity. You were a celebrity. In fact, if there's one thing that I heard yesterday coming home that really stuck in my mind, it was this. When they went to a little store and asked the owner of the store, who just happened to speak English, now, when we say white man, that's you too, okay? That's you too, okay? The white man is anybody that's not Indian there, okay? You're the white man. And here's what they said. We've never seen the white man here before. You're the first ones that we've seen here. Oh my gosh, that just hit me. That just hit me. They've never heard about Jesus before. They've never seen. Now, being sexy and would be like walking in where everybody acknowledges you. Now, I want to talk about this because that can happen at work. We talk about being sexy as being generous and giving and caring. We've learned that from Scripture. We've learned about that, where it's agape love, where you give expecting nothing in return. Now I want to share a couple verses here with you before we go on. We're going through 1 Peter, so let's look at 1 Peter chapter 2. Here, we're going to have it up on the screen. I want you to look for it. It says slaves. Now when it says slaves, I want you to look at that and say, that's employees. That's most of us. Some of us have work for ourselves, but most of us work for other people. So what he's saying now is those of you that work for other people, submit yourself to your bosses, to your employers. Submit yourself to them with all respect. Not only to those who are good and considerate, but also to those who are harsh. Because some of you may sit there and say, Jim, you can say that, but you don't know what my boss is like. He or she is a jerk. They treat me like I'm just a peon. I'm not going to do anything extra for them. I'm just going to do what I have to do. It's just a job. Well, that's not what God is saying. That's not what God is saying. God is saying you're to treat that person with respect. Holy smokes, let's read on. For it is commendable if a man bears up under the pain. It's commendable if you bear up under the pain of unjust suffering because you're conscious of God. If you are being abused by a boss and you endure it, it says it's commendable if you're doing it for God. You say, God, I'm working for you, God. I'm working for you. I'm not working for this boss. I'll respect him because you told him you respect him, but I work for you, God. Now, but how is it to your credit if you receive a beating for doing wrong and endure it? If you suffer for doing good and you endure it, this is commendable before God. To this you were called because Christ suffered for you, leaving you an example that you should follow in his steps. Now, one more, Ephesians. Ephesians chapter 6 tells us this, and you've heard this before. Slaves, again, employees, obey your earthly masters, your bosses, with respect and fear, and with sincerity of heart, just as you would obey Christ. You will obey your boss because you're obeying Jesus. Just like a few weeks ago I talked about, you obey the laws of the land because God set up the laws of the land. You obey your boss because that's who your boss is. You obey him just like you obey Jesus. Obey them not only to win their favor when their eye is on you, but like slaves of Christ doing the will from your heart. Serve wholeheartedly as if you were serving the Lord, not men. I'll talk to you about this now. If you go to work and you do this, you work even when your boss isn't looking at you. and all the employees see you doing that, and you are generous and kind and caring to everybody else, including your boss, do you think you might get noticed by other employees? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Now, it's even this. Remember what I said? 2 o'clock and you've got to go to 5 and you look up at that clock. If you like to work, if you look at opportunities, then what you do is you look for a broom and a dustpan and you sweep the place where you're working. Not my job. I'm better at this. They don't pay me to do this. There's no job that you're better than. So you sweep the floor. Not your job. You do it anyway. You still got time left, so you go in and clean the toilet. Now, you don't do it just because your boss is there looking to see what you're doing. You just do it because you're saying, I work for Jesus, and I take chance of every opportunity. Opportunities look a lot like work. You just do it. Now, here's what happens when you do that. Now the rest of the workforce see you, and now you're not just going to work, you're building something. Remember what he said? Don't just live life, build life. Build a life. That's what he said. Don't just, no, he's talking about being successful. But what I'm talking about is don't just go to work, build something at work. Build something at work. I don't care what your job is. If you work in a warehouse and that's what your job is and you got extra time, then you do extra work. Time goes by faster, you are taking a chance of every opportunity is there, and opportunities make success. Pretty soon, you're the foreman. Pretty soon, you're the boss's right-hand man. Pretty soon, you're getting pay raises, but you didn't do it for that. You did it because I'm a worker. I'm a worker. Let me share another story. I'm not have myself back. I just want to share with you. When I got out of construction, and I went to work for the church to be a janitor, I shared this with you before. I had this van with all my tools in it, and I remember going to work that day at the church and looking behind and see my van empty, and it was like getting out of prison. It was like, God, thank God I don't have to pick up the tool again. I didn't want to ever do that again. But I quit youth ministry, and guess what happened? My van got filled up with tools. In fact, I had to have a trailer because the van wasn't big enough. And here I am, doing hotel work again. Did I like it? No. Did I work hard at it? Yeah. Yeah. Let me just give you, for instance, Dave said he worked 80 hours a week, and I don't question him on that at all. We're doing a job. A lot of our jobs we're doing, but there was one job in particular in San Diego at Shelter Point, and the furniture, we always have a schedule, and I want to meet that schedule. So furniture was not going to be there in time. So everybody's like, well, we're not going to make a schedule now. But I took pride in making the schedule. And so what I did is, me and my employees, I paid my employees, but what we did is we worked extra hours. Kids got a bunch of bins, stored all the old furniture, so when we were done with the rooms, we put the old furniture in. When the new furniture came in pieces, we go in those rooms 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 times, replacing it. A lot of extra work. We worked 90 hours a week on average. 90 hours a week is what we worked. I'm paying my employees to work those hours, but I'm not charging to do it. Why? I'm a worker. And I take pride in the fact that we're going to make schedule. It's an opportunity. And what happened as a result of that? The company looks at that and goes, who are these people? And we never had to advertise. There was always the next job, and the next job, and the next jobs. That's how you're successful. Opportunities look a lot like hard work. Going to school. Going to school. How are you successful in school? Do you just happen to have a photographic mind? Not very many people have that. What it is hard work. If you go to Notre Dame, not how they pronounce it, Notre Dame, Notre Dame. You go to Notre Dame, it's not just luck. It's taking advantage of every opportunity that was there, and every opportunity was hard work. Right, Sabrina? Hard work. You went to the same school she went to. Hard work. You get good grades. Hard work. If you don't get good grades, it's not because you don't. Remember what Ashton said? One thing he learned, everybody around you is no smarter than you are. Sabrina, Milan, Kelly are not smarter than the rest of you young people that are sitting in this room. They just like to work. You probably don't. But you can change that. You can change that. Just like when you go to work tomorrow now, you can change how you work tomorrow now. You can go back and do the same old, and look at the clock and go, oh my God, 3 more hours. And then when Friday comes, TGIF. Or you can say, I'm going to build something. I got to go to work anyway. So I'm going to build something. I'm going to build something. And then guess what? Just like when you go to India and Teresa gave an altar call, why did they listen to Teresa? Because they were intrigued by Teresa. She said they were intrigued even by her tattoos. I want to hear what you have to say. Now, when you're at work, and you are working hard, like we just talked about, and you are kind and generous and caring, and you do all those things, you people around you want to hear what you have to say now. You want to talk about your Jesus? They might just listen now. Be lazy and talk about Jesus and see if they'll listen to you. You're a hard worker. Carlos, you're a hard worker. In fact, they just shared, I'm giving away something for next week, that you were the spark plug. You were the, you know what Frank said? You were the, what is the Easter Bunny, what's the magnet? Energizer. You're the Energizer Bunny. You never lost energy. I bet you're like that at work. And I bet you that's why they listen to you when you talk about Jesus. Because of that. Now, I'm just going to ask this question. How many of you became a Christian as a result of coming to Collision? In other words, you gave your life to Jesus since you came to Collision. Just raise your hand. Don't be ashamed. Raise your hand. Now, how many of you made a recommitment to Jesus? In other words, your faith was just kind of, so I want to take my faith way more serious. And you made a recommitment, raise your hand. You know what? That's probably 80% of our church right now. So listen to this now. What if no one had ever told you about vision? What if Paul would never have invited his sister and her husband to Collision? What if Paul would have never done that? Jessica came to know Jesus as a result of Paul inviting her to Collision, just like a whole bunch of you other ones did. And then as a result of her coming and her husband Ricky coming, Ricky's mom and dad comes, and then Ricky's mom gives her life to Jesus. You see how that works? If you work hard at work and you're a caring person, you may not feel comfortable sharing the gospel like what Teresa does. I remember when, forgive me for this, but when you guys were emailing me saying, Junior wants to make a recommitment to the Lord, will you do it? You guys could have done it. Who am I? Who am I? You could have done it, just like Teresa did it. But if you're not comfortable doing that, you can at least invite them to Collision, and they might become one of the statistics that you just were, where they came to know Jesus or they recommitted their life to Jesus. You can do that if they respect you. Now I want to go one more direction. I'm closing here now. I want to go one more direction. You can come to Collision, or you can build Collision. Just like you can live life, or you can build a life. Most people just live life. They go through life, they get a job, they have a family, they get married, they have kids, they retire, they pay taxes all the way through that, and then they die. And then they die. Or you can build the life that others want to be a part of. Let me talk about that. You can just come to Collision and sit in the chair, which is what most of us are going to do. Or you can build something that other people want to be a part of. Guess which is more exciting? Remember what Ashley said? You're going to find this out. The people around you that are building stuff are no smarter than you are. And it's true. I'm not smarter than you are. I'm not. I know Dave isn't for darn sure. You're just as smart as we are. You can build something. Do you know what you can build that other people want to be a part of and it changes their life? You can build a life group. You can build a life group that other people want to be a part of, that will change their life. Have you guys grown as a result of your life group? Amen. Do you invite other people to your life group? Marcy, does he invite other people? Does he nag you to come? You know what he's doing? You know what him and doing? And Robert and Tracy, they are building something that other people want to be a part of. That's a whole lot more exciting than just coming here and sitting on a chair. Hear me? What would I know about a life group? I make it so darn simple for you. I give you the questions. All you got to do is read the question. How smart do you have to be to read a question? If you read English, you can read the question. But if you only speak Spanish, I'll make them in Spanish. Yes. You can do it. You can build something that others want to be a part of. And guess what? You don't even have to ask us. You just do it. Just say, I'm going to have a life group at my house. And I'm going to start inviting people. Just like now, you can be, a lot of you are. You are small group leaders in the youth group. You are built something in that youth group that others want to be a part of. I'm talking to Frank, and I'm saying, Frank, Tressa's not going to be here anymore now. Who of all the other leaders here, who do you think you'd like to have as a leader? Wouldn't you love it if the first name that came out of his mouth was your name? Here's how you do it. By building that small group, not just being the leader and asking the questions. You build it. You call the youth. You do what Cheryl did. You're taking them Sunday after church and meeting with them and just talking about life and then giving them a ride all the way to La Mirada, and you live in the other far end of Long Beach. Opportunities? Yeah. Does it look like work? It looks like hard work. But she built something. She built something. So who's the first name that comes out of Frank's mouth? How about Cheryl? Because she invested in it. She didn't just do it. She invested. She made something out of it. Just like those of you that teach children. You can just go there and teach children, or you can build something. You can build something. You could say, I'm going to be prepared and I'm going to have the best darn craft that you could possibly have. I'm going to work all week at it. So when the kids get there, they're going to be all excited. Because guess what? We had 9 kids last week. 9 children last week. Ooh. Can you change that? Yeah, you can change. It's an opportunity. It looks like hard work. It looks like hard work. That's what opportunities are. So you work on the craft all week, so when you get there, you're all excited about it. And when you're excited, guess what? The kids are excited. If I come up here and give my message, and I'm sitting here like this, Turn to 1 Peter. Where the heck is it? Oh, yeah, I found it. Now, it might be the best message in the world, but if I have no enthusiasm, are you going to listen? No, you're not. Are the children going to listen to you just because you show up? They're going to listen when you come in all excited about what you've got to tell them. Now you're building something. Now you're building something. You're not just there. When Alex did her Bible study, she had girls coming there because she was doing the work ahead of time and was excited about being there. Let's name some other ones, okay? Let's name some other ones. The church picnic. Opportunity?
Yeah!
Hard work? Ah, piece of cake, right?
Oh, yeah.
Hard work, isn't it? Hard work. Do you ever at some point just say, why the heck did I sign up for this? But guess what? I want you to listen to this now. Do you realize that next week you're probably going to have over 100 people there enjoying what you created? You built something that other people want to be a part of now. That's what you did. That's what opportunities are. Hard work. But you built something that other people want to be a part of. You can all do it. Look at Laura and Monica. Do they look smarter than you are? I can guarantee you one thing. I can guarantee you one thing. I'll bet you this guy is a hard worker at his work. I bet you this lady is a hard worker at her work. I bet you they like to work, and that's why they're willing to build a picnic. I know that for Tressa for certain. I know the people that knew her from work saying, she's a leader and she's a hard worker. I seen Linda come in this morning, they all set up. And oh, that's somebody who's behind me. That's the Holy Ghost. And I seen Linda. Linda didn't just walk to the table she was going to decorate next. She fast walked to the table. A worker. A worker. Are you? Are you? Or do you just want to go through life the same old, same old? If you do, or do you want to build something that other people want to be a part of? You can do it at your work, and you can do it here at Glacier. There's a whole bunch of things that you can do. A whole bunch of things. You can organize the next India trip. That's easy, isn't it, Claudia? All you got to do is get in your car and drive to San Francisco once, get in a plane and fly to San Francisco once, just to get a visa for one person. Who cares whether that person goes to India or not? Liz, did India change your life?
It did, and it was because she was fierce
Yes.
about getting that
Yes.
visa.
An opportunity that looks like hard work. What if she hadn't done that? What if she hadn't done that? Are you getting it, people? Can I get an amen?
Amen! Hallelujah!
Thank you. Thank you. There's things that you can do. Thank God for Shirley now. You've got a prayer team. But I've always wanted, it's one thing to pray about the people that have prayer requests, but it's another thing to follow up on it. Another thing to follow up on it. If I had cancer and I put in there, pray for me because I got prostate cancer, and I knew that you guys were praying me, thank God for that, but if I got an email or a text or a phone call, I didn't like phone calls. You know, people don't like to be bugged. If I got an email or a text saying, we really care about what you're doing, what you're going through. Oh my gosh. Now it's meaningful. Now it's meaningful. How many of you can do that? There are so many opportunities here. So many. Eric that does the video here every Sunday. Thank God for Eric. How much more could be done with that? Imagine this now. Imagine those of you that come to church early, if you're not Dave Sloan getting here late. For a while, I didn't think you were going to show up. I was really wiped out. But imagine if you're going to sit here early anyway, if someone took the opportunity, which is hard work, and started taking pictures and videos of all different things, and you got here and it was shown on the screen as you were here. Just like next Sunday, they're going to show some stuff from India that's going to be, but it's just one Sunday. How many pictures did Amanda take?
5,000 plus.
5,000 plus pictures, okay? Now, is that a lot of, now look at, now I'm going to share about the opportunities here now. Dave was worried about it because Amanda is a social butterfly. It's just like, if you want someone to greet people at the door, don't tell Carlos to do it because he'll greet one person and then talk to the other 3 people the whole time there's another 100 coming through the door. So if she's taking pictures, his worry was, oh my God, she's not going to take any pictures because she's going to be in with the kids and she's going to forget to take pictures. She didn't forget to take pictures. No, those pictures could be shown weeks and weeks and months afterwards to where it's time to go to India next time, and I've heard all kinds of people that want to go. Soledad can't wait to go next year. Frank can't wait to go next year. I'm sure there's other people now too. Do you see the opportunity? Man, I could go on a big worship team up here, and we're going to be here all day. And I still want, and there's something else I wanted to talk about, but I'll wait for my next message on that one. I'll finish it with my next message on that one. What are you going to do with all of this? What are you going to do with all this? How many times have you been guilty of this? I know I have so many times. I hear something, the Holy Spirit challenges me, and I walk out just all fired up. And then I look at it and go, oh, geez, that's a lot of work. No thanks. I got enough on my plate. If I do that, I won't be able to watch the Packer game. If I do that, I won't be able to watch the Angel game. If I do that, I won't be able to play poker on my computer. I won't be able to play Candyland on my computer.
Candy Crush.
Well, whatever, Candy Crush. Guess who's playing it? Guess who's playing it? Okay. Or you can say, Jesus, this is what Jesus says. Jesus says, I search this room looking for someone that's willing to stand up and say, send me, Jesus, send me. He says, I'm searching. Jesus says, what did Jesus say? I will build my church. He didn't say I will maintain my church. I will build my church. You can build the church. You can build something that other people want to be a part of. Did Jesus talk to you this morning? Amen. Then you're not doing it for me. You're not doing it for Dave. It's not our church. It's Jesus' church. Just like when you go to work tomorrow, you're not working for that boss. You're working for Jesus. When you love somebody and they don't return the love, it doesn't make any difference because you're loving Jesus, not that person. Let's love Jesus right now. This cross right here represents Him. We're going to worship Jesus. We're going to lift our hands up. We're going to stand. We're going to do whatever you do to say, Jesus, you are the most important thing right now for this next 20 minutes. It's you and nothing but you. That if there's needs, anything you have, come to the cross, and those that are prayer warriors will come and pray. The prayer of a righteous person is powerful and effective and can accomplish much. Let's worship Jesus.